residuals or what the patient has right now, and C, for the cause of that residual. In other words, what it's the late effect of. Number one, what does the word residuals mean? Something I've got left over. But I don't know what I've got left over, do I? So residuals are what I have, but it doesn't tell me anything. Can you code it when you don't know what it is? No, it's just a bad diagnosis. All right, so what's the cause? Polio. All right. What about number two, sequela? What is? Yeah, but what is sequela? It's something that you get after. But can I code sequela if I don't know what the sequela is? No. But it is a late effect, isn't it? Of what? Of a crush injury. All right. Number three, what's the residual? Is it? The residual is what I have now. Put it in a different order that time for you. So what do I have now? Hemiplegia. And what is it a late effect of? The CVA. Number four, what's the residual or what I have now? Contracture. What did I have that I no longer have at an acute stage? The hip replacement. All right. Number one at the bottom, 6.7 exercise. What's the residual or what I have now? Okay. What did I have that I no longer have in an acute state? Fracture. Number two, what did I have that I no longer have? And what do I have now? Contracture. Now, number three, what do I have now? Damage. What did I have? All right. When you coded these, did you end up with 800 codes? Did you have any trouble getting to the right answer? Do we want to go over any of them? You good with them? Dorothy, you good with them? Gwen, you good with them? Great. But what do you know now that you missed on that page in number two, number one at the bottom, and number two at the top? What would you also have coded if the instructions had said to? 800 and 900 codes? E codes. All right. Now the next page, number four, your flaccid hemiplegia. What's the residual of what the patient has right now? What did they have? Cerebrovascular accident. Number five, what's the residual? What did they have? Measles. Number six, what's the residual? Mononeuritis. Result from what? A crush injury. Number seven, what have they got right now? Arthritis. What did they have? They had a trauma, but we don't really know a whole lot about what that trauma is, do we? And number eight, what have they got now? Residuals. Do we know what those residuals are? No. And again, you can't really code what you don't have. Those are not, it's not a very good diagnosis, is it? It's a very poorly documented diagnosis. And number nine, what have they got now? Paralytic syndrome and a late effect of CVA. All right. If you missed any of those, let me know which ones they are so we can go over them together. You okay? All right. That brings us up to Chapter 7, Coding Guidelines for Operations and Procedures. We've already talked about the 4 bullet marks that you see there. We talked about it, I think, probably last week, about what is something that you code, and that is anything that's considered to be a significant procedure. And a significant procedure is defined as being one that's surgical in nature, carries an anesthetic risk, a procedural risk, or specialized training. So that is very, very broad. And so pretty much you code anything that they did to the patient, or you could code anything that they did to the patient. However, take a look about middle way of that large paragraph at electronic claim formats may accept up to 25 procedure codes. Electronic claim formats may accept up to 25 procedure code. However, at the present time, Medicare allows the reporting of up to 6 procedures. If more than 6 have been performed, all therapeutic procedures, particularly those related to the principal diagnosis, should be reported to the extent possible. I am not limited by the number of codes, either diagnostic or procedural codes, that I can have on the chart for a given patient. I am limited to the number of codes that my computer system will let me put in. Now, they're entirely different. Back in the days when we didn't computerize things, you could have codes, because all of them would be put into a manual system. Well, then when you start having a computerized system, you have to draw the line somewhere, because the computer can only have enough spots for certain codes. So your computer system may only take 20 codes. It may take 25. It may take 30. It's whatever your computer system has been designed to do. Well, just because your computer system takes those doesn't mean that every bill that gets sent to an insurance company is going to allow you to put all those codes in there, does it? Yeah. Medicare only allows you to put 6 procedures. All right? Which 6 procedures are you going to choose? The one that pays the most. All right? Are the ones that pay the most generally the ones that are invasive, or are they the ones that are diagnostic? Probably the one that's invasive. Example, is it going to pay more that you did an open liver biopsy or that you did a chest x-ray?
The liver biopsy.
Why?
Because it was invasive.
Invasive. Which one's going to pay more?